Welcome to your lesson on using limestone. So limestone is calcium carbonate and it has the chemical formula CaCO3. So the first thing I want you to do is, can you name the elements that are in calcium carbonate and can you give the chemical symbols as an extension? So I'll give you a few seconds to think about these. Right, you have calcium, which is a Ca, carbon, which is C, and oxygen, which is O. So they are the elements that are found in calcium carbonate. So what we're going to look at today is we're going to describe how we can use limestone and discuss the advantages and disadvantages of quarrying it. So just looking at your solo, where are you at? So just have a think about how we can use limestone and give the advantages and disadvantages of quarrying. Right, our learning outcomes for today are these. We're going to describe how we can use limestone, explain how limestone can be used by farmers to neutralise soil, and we're going to discuss the advantages and disadvantages of quarrying for limestone. So the first key question is, what is limestone? So limestone is a type of rock. It is a grey and white in colour. It is quarried, which means it is dug out of the ground, and it is used to build old buildings. Limestone does not dissolve in normal rain, but it does react with acid rain. So we need to know the uses of limestone. Limestone is used as a raw material for making many building materials. So if you get limestone and you heat it with clay, this makes cement. And if you then mix this cement with water, gravel and sand, you then make concrete. And limestone is also used to make glass by heating it with sand and sodium carbonate. So if you look at back there, you've got glass, you've got concrete and cement. These are all vital for the building industry. So that's why limestone is so important. And other uses of the limestone, these include that the products of limestone can be used to neutralize acidic soils, which helps the crops grow better. And then you've got limestone is used in power station chimneys, and this is used to remove acidic gases that can cause acid rain. So let's have a look at quarrying. So all quarrying is where you make ugly holes in the ground, and this is where you use to dig out or blast out the limestone. And this is usually done using explosives. And when you blast out the rock, this causes a lot of dust and a lot of noise. So this is some of the disadvantages of quarrying. Also, if you build a quarry, it will often destroy the habitats of the wildlife, and the lorries that transport it will cause pollution and traffic to the area where the quarry is built. Also, if you had a house next to one, it can reduce the price, meaning that you end up losing money. But we need to look at the advantages of quarrying as well, especially for limestone. These include quarrying for limestone, which is used for the raw materials for buildings. Therefore, if you have more limestone, then you're going to get cheaper glass, cement, and concrete. It also creates jobs building quarries. So if you create jobs, you end up bringing a lot of money into the communities. And also, if you build a quarry, you can then use it to export the limestone to other countries, and again, using this for a profit. So these are the advantages of quarrying. Right, quick learn check. If you can pause the video now and have a quick go at these two questions. Right, let's have a look at the answers. So describe how we can use limestone. Limestone can be used to make cement, concrete and glass. It can be used to neutralize acidic soils and also used to neutralize acidic gases in power stations. Give 3 advantages of building a limestone quarry. So quarrying produces limestone. This can be used for raw materials for buildings. Therefore, you first of all get cheaper glass, cement. It creates jobs and it can then be exported. So they are advantages of quarrying. So what I want you to have a go at now is to try the extended question. So looking at this, large quantities of limestone are extracted from quarries. Explain the advantages and disadvantages to local communities of a nearby limestone quarry. So set yourself time of 6 minutes and remember to focus on your spelling, punctuation, and grammar as well for the extra marks. Right, let's have a look at the answer, a model answer. So self-assessment. So describing advantages, this brings in money and employment. You get cheaper glass, cement and concrete. And you need to explain these. So more employment, more money means a higher standard of lifestyle for those people, and they can feed their families, etc. Disadvantages, these include dust, noise pollution, extra traffic. The destroys the habitats of wildlife, damages the landscape, damages natural beauty, and also less tourism. And having explanations for this will get you into the higher marks. So, for example, dust pollution may cause damage to human health, throat and lung problems. So, to get the 1 or 2 marks, if you state a few advantages, disadvantages as described, and you give some simple ideas with some spelling and punctuation mistakes, then you're getting 1 or 2 marks. If you can state a number of these advantages and disadvantages and explain at least one, then you're into 3 or 4 marks. And to get the 5 and 6, you need to be able to identify most of the advantages, disadvantages, and describe and explain these with excellent spelling, punctuation, and grammar. So that's how you would get your 5 or 6 marks. So it's the explanations behind them. So that brings us to the end of your revision session on using limestone. So just think back to where you were at the beginning. So I asked you to describe how we can use limestone and discuss the advantages, disadvantages of quarrying for it. So have you been able to show progress where you've moved on? And if you have, just quickly annotate what you've learned. And then very quickly, we'll quickly go over your outcomes. So it was to describe how we can use limestone, explain how limestone can be used by farmers to neutralize the soil, and discuss the advantages, disadvantages of quarrying for limestone. Okay, so well done. Lesson 4 is now complete.